Yoko was removing her gloves.
Your hands!
Without thinking, I let out a gasp. More than just a little burned skin.
Awful, isn't it? It happened when I was first learning to be a detective. I was inexperienced.
Acid burns?
No, the heavy burns.
I thought you didn't want anyone to see those scars.
If it means we get another step closer to unmasking the Mastermind,
what caused it.
it doesn't really bother me.
I don't remember, actually. Just deep can't remember. It was an accident during her first investigation.
Yoko seemed to savor the words as she said them. She put her gloves back on.
My scars should suffice as proof.
I'm not going to read an
Makoto,
entire book.
Did the person who attacked you have scars like mine?
I'm not going to read an entire book just to get one little detail.
No, not at all. I'm positive.
Then this much has been made clear. There can be no doubt that the one who attacked Makoto is the true Mastermind.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, no snappy comebacks.
This is just awful! On top of my secret being revealed, I had to look at those positively grotesque scars of yours.
3 volumes, fuck that.
Sorry. Did I say that out loud? I do hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
Not at all. You can say whatever you want.
Sure, as long as it means pushing me farther into the corner, right? But I'm not cornered just yet.
Oh, you will be, bitch.
Because if you haven't noticed, the circumstances surrounding Mukuro's death are totally unknown.
Actually, they're pretty clear.
That's true. All we know right now is she was killed a good while before this morning.
On the contrary, we don't know anything other than that.
You're not going to tell us she was already dead before we arrived here or something, are you?
In that regard, you have nothing to worry about. I promise you, without a doubt, she died after our little killing game began here.
You telling me the truth?
Yes.
Then somehow she was killed in secret without any
You
of
will
us
be
knowing.
shocked at what that means.
Alright.
And after
If you
she
haven't figured it
died,
out by now, you
who
will be
knows
shocked.
how much time went by before we
Again, the only
found
thing
her,
I just know
right?
about the end is who the true mastermind is.
Yeah.
Everything else?
Did the culprit stash her somewhere? She couldn't have been in the garden the whole time, could she?
If she was, she would have been totally decomposed. Just like your brain.
I wonder where the one place she could be that would keep the body still.
Then she was being stored somewhere?
Yep.
But to hide a body here,
Guys,
to just store it somewhere?
There's only one place. I can't think of anywhere else the body could be stored other than kitchen.
the kitchen. We're eating people.
Put her in a giant Ziploc bag, she'll be fresh for good.
Absolutely.
I got it! Mukuro's body was probably kept hidden in the biolab.
Biolab? You mean on the 5th floor?
That's right. It's actually set up for use as a morgue. So it's the perfect place to hide a body. And it'd keep the body preserved at the same time.
Yep.
Then you're also saying the body was moved from the biolab to the garden.
Yep.
And I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. In fact, I have proof.
The proof that shows that the body was carried from the biolab garden. Something that made its way from, yes.
The chirp.
I got it!
It's a chirp.
Is it true?
What makes me so sure the body was carried from the biolab to the garden is the tarp that we found in the garden. When I was checking it over again, I noticed something. I noticed that some text had been stamped on one corner of the tarp.
Oh, it says Biolab.
Yes, honey.
Holy cow! How'd you notice that tiny little
Because we're
thing?
smart and you're dumb.
Because there's ink on a white tarp. Hard to miss.
Makoto's nitpicky nature seems to have surfaced with perfect timing.
This proves that the tarp originally came from the biolab. In fact, there's a whole stack of tarps just like it in there.
Why the hell would you
So
cover the
when
body?
the killer moved the body to the garden, they must have grabbed a tarp to wrap it in. Then they simply left it as it was to protect against the sprinklers, and put the coat on it afterwards.
You made everything sound so amazingly consistent.
Like she's a detective or something.
Right?
But that's just a wild guess. Where's your evidence? Prove that the body was wrapped in a tarp and moved.
There is no
You mean
evidence.
the tarp?
I was simply explaining what I think happened. But you seem to be getting pretty worked up about it, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. Only be that worked up unless you have something to hide, bitch.
Worked up?
Now that the conversation has turned to the topic of the biolab, you must be getting pretty nervous. Because the key to uncovering your secret identity is hidden within that room, isn't it?
Yep.
Are you talking about unmasking the Mastermind?
On the island?
You see, the biolab contained an inconsistency. One so major it can't
Right.
be overlooked.
An inconsistency in the biolab.
You know what it is.
Mm-hmm. Would you be talking about?
La la la, I can't hear you. La 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 la.
Such a child. Oh well, just ignore him.
Thank you, William, for the 1,000!
I need to pull myself together and think. Inconsistency in the biolab. Would you be talking about?
Hey, by the way, Makoto, what about that one thing?
What one thing?
What do you think I'm talking about? Your family.
What?
Don't tell me you forgot about that video message.
Does that almost look like the fucking headmaster?
Almost, but it's not. I promise it's not.
Oh no.
So what do you think? Are you sure your family's still okay?
Why are you bringing that up now?
Your mom, your dad, your little sister. What do you think has happened to your family?
Well, I mean, thanks to Ultra Disparagos, his sister's fine.
Yeah.
Are they really as safe as you might have assumed?
Stop talking about that!
Calm down, Makoto. He wants you to get upset.
Yeah, I need to calm down. I can't let him get to me. He's just saying that because he knows we're getting close to the truth of the biolab. If I want to shut him up. Okay, so then just fucking say it. Thank you.
You or me?
I'll do it.
Alright. That is... I had to see all of them. I didn't see all of them. You have to scroll through them.
About this? That's impossible!
Yeah, I forgot. It changed so that we had to choose what final shot we had to take.
What? What do you want? Are you sure about this?
Don't follow music.
Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? What? What do you want? Are you sure about this? That's impossible! Are you sure about this? That's impossible! Are you sure about this? That's impossible!
Quickly, quickly.
I'm not listening!
Lights, lights, lights! There are 4 lights!
This should prove it.
That was way more complicated than it needed.
The rhythm game. Now that Bryan's here, he can do the rhythm game.
Yoko's talking about is the lights.
What are you talking about? What about the lights?
Like I said before, the biolab also acts as a morgue. And as part of that, a giant refrigerator was installed in there. That's where everyone who's died is stored.
And it was set up so that when a slot had a body in it, a blue light would turn on.
In other words, if the blue light is on, that means there's a body in that slot.
Duh. Thank you for repeating the same thing twice.
But I counted up the number of blue lights that were on, including the one Mukuro was in, and there were only 9.
Why does that matter? You gotta give me the bite-sized version here, man.
9 lights doesn't make sense. The number of lights that should be on is 10.
I got it! 10 of the lights should have been on. Any other number is incredibly suspicious.
Suspicious? Why?
That's simple. Just recall who's died here so far, and it should become clear.
That's right. That's the key to solving this mystery.
1,
Bag a bag.
2,
4.
3, 4,
Chihiro.
5,
Kondo.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Victim number 10 was Mukuro.
So 10 people in all?
That's right. Any other number should make you immediately suspicious. But according to the lights in the biolab, only 9 people were being stored there.
You're saying a dead body just up and disappeared?
I got it! The Mastermind destroyed one of the bodies to get rid of evidence.
But if they wanted to do that, they would have destroyed Mukuro's body, since they actually killed her. And yet, her body was left alone.
Then, whose body disappeared?
It may very well be that none of them disappeared.
But if that's true, then why doesn't the body count match?
Including Monokuma's executions, there have apparently been 10 deaths, but there were only 9 bodies.
Interesting.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm completely lost. How can the number of victims be less than the number of murders?
The reason there are less bodies. The explanation for more murders than victims.
I got it. Because Mondo's body doesn't count. Because he's turned into butter. Mondo's body doesn't count. No, I'm kidding.
Why is it? What would it take for that to make sense?
I got it! What about if the same person was killed twice?
Huh? Killed twice?
Officially, 10 murders have been committed so far. But one of the victims may have been murdered, and then murdered again.
Murdered and murdered again?
If that's the case, there could have been 10 killings, but still only 9 victims, right?
Technically, you're right, I guess. But still, something like that.
Could easily have happened. No, it is what happened.
Sounds like you're already convinced. Then can you tell us who was killed twice?
Easy.
It was Mukuro, of course. Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikusaba, she was killed as someone else.
And that's why the body had to be stored in the biolab until the moment we found it in the garden.
No, that's crazy talk. She was killed as someone else? Come on! Besides, who could that someone else even have been?
All you have to do is look at those bodily injuries of hers, and that will become obvious.
Nothing's gonna become obvious.
Remember, we have concluded that Mukuro died because of the other wounds on her body. In the public murders that have happened, what was the one murder that could have caused all of those injuries?
Right. That was, yeah, I was right.
Because Kyoko's totally delusional. Who is this someone else that Mukuro was killed as? Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima? Leon Kuwata? Chihiro Fujisaki? Mondo Owada? Kiyotaka Ishimaru? Hifumi Yamada, Celestia Lu, whatever. Or maybe Sakura Ogami. No. There's no way anyone was murdered twice.
Yes, there was.
Chihiro Mando, Kiyotaki Fumi, Celestial, or maybe...
No, there's no way anyone was murdered twice.
No, that's wrong.
There we go.
The murder of Mukuro Ukusaba was the spears
Junko.
of Gungnir.
Wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
What do you mean?
Well, remember what happened to her? She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body. When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered,
Then the similarities match?
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those two bodies are actually one and the same.
so let me see if I have this straight. Junko, or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears. Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again. Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba.
Because I was gonna say, wouldn't they have shown the tattoo, but then makeup, right?
Makeup. There's only one mistake that
It
Mukuro
all
made.
matches up, right? Those wounds Junko suffered could easily be these same injuries.
Then it's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person?
Not exactly.
Wait, so then... yeah, what does it all mean?
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9. Which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is still alive.
And that's the true identity of the Mastermind?
Who is it? Who's behind all this?
We just spelled it out, dude.
Right?
We already know the answer to that. It's Mukuro.
Hey.
He's still alive.
Let's say they're all fucking morons.
She took
Also-
Junko's body.
There's one mistake that Mukuro made with makeup.
Right.
And made it look like she was the one who died. So Mukuro is still alive. She's gotta be.
No, honey.
Total silence. Then I must be.
I would just stop you right there. Mukuro alive? The one that's still alive is Mukuro. But can we really believe that?
No. These fucking idiots.
Right? There's no way. There's no way Mukuro is that fucking Japanese name still alive.
The body we found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro.
Then she's
sure?
still alive?
That's right. She made it look like Junko's body was her. So the Mastermind's true identity is Mukuro.
What do you say, Monokuma? Do you give up?
I can't believe that's one of the
That's all you can shoot.
The body we found in the garden.
And ba-ding, ba-boom.
Mukuro.
Infinity Wii.
No, that's wrong. No, the body we found in the garden was Mukuro. That's one thing we can be sure of. The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records. Right, Kyoko?
She was 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32. Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse.
And then there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo. So there's no question it's her.
But if Mukuro's not the Mastermind, then
Toku, we literally just spilled it.
Someone's made it look like they died, but they're actually still alive. Only one person who it could be. So it turns out actually he fooled me, you son of a bitch.
You goddamn bitch! Stop.
And wait.
Here's my answer. Junko is still alive.
Get away
It's
from
the
me!
only possibility.
Are you sure about that?
Chicken man, I'm about to make fried chicken out of you.
Huh?
I admit, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation. But we saw her get impaled. She died right before our very eyes. If Junko were still alive, the death we saw would had to have been some kind of
Byakuya,
charade.
we just said Mukuro was using Junko's name!
But you yourself confirmed she was dead, did you not?
Now that you mention it, I gently placed my hand on people's lifeless body. I did check, absolutely. And I can say for sure.
She was dead. There's no question. Junko was dead.
So,
So then why are
the
there
idea
9
that
bodies?
she's still alive.
It must be wrong.
No, you got it right.
No, you got it right.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
No, don't back up now.
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess you. Too bad.
This
Yoko.
case hasn't been decided just yet.
Thank you.
Oh?
You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
No, of course not. There's no way I'd give up that easy.
That's all well and good, but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way?
By proving that Junko was not Junko when she died.
Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died.
Then why are the 9 bodies, chicken man?
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
Huh? The opposite direction?
Let's assume Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived?
How could Junko have survived?
Simple.
Checked, I was sure of it. But still, if she were alive somehow, could it be that Junko's not the one that died?
Yeah, it's like we just said previously that Mukuro was the one that died!
Where did Junko? But it's like, do we just completely forget about the fact that the wounds match?
Yep.
Maybe she used some sort of trick.
Replace. Oh. You might need to use the table.
I got it.
Come on, give us that juicy L. Give us that L. Take this L.
Now I understand.
Kyoko with the brain cells. Again, this group has one brain cell, and Kyoko
What if
is that
she
one brain
switched
cell.
places with someone else?
Switched places?
That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place. Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba.
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
Yes, which we've
Which is why
confirmed.
the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile, right?
I don't know anything about this switching places thing, but that had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Really, you think someone would fuck up their makeup and not hide those freckles?
Yeah, you're saying they switched? When could they even have done that?
Because remember, only
Right when
15
she
people
was,
were in the main hall.
about to die? Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique?
Good point. There's just no way they could have switched like that. So maybe the whole idea is wrong.
There has to be some way. I need to figure out how to explain how they could have switched.
I got it! The two of them may have switched places from the very beginning.
What? From the beginning?
Yes, from the moment we first met. If that's when they switched, then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right?
Also, how many times are we gonna keep seeing that same animation?
A lot.
After all, the one we saw at that point would have already been Mukuro.
Hold on. So, you're saying the Junko we first met was actually Mukuro all along?
Then we'd already met her?
I had like a normal conversation with her.
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was.
So they wouldn't have known.
So Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko, and we never would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
Wait, but Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right?
Makeup, honey.
Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like that. If she did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after the body was extinguished. Plus, there were the fake nails
What was
found
that?
on the
I
hands of
think, yeah.
Mukuro's body. They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
But if she really did use foundation,
Correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro. So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto. But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.
I'm pretty sure yourself, man. Be a bitch.
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning?
What do you think, Hiro?
If that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan to be sure, making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible is because the two of them were working together.
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her. In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair.
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
I think he's just afraid.
Nah.
Afraid? What's that mean, afraid? Fear is only possible where hope is possible. I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
Then why haven't you been saying anything?
Because it's a bunch of nonsense. Junko's my secret identity?
Yes.
As if.
Then why did you try and protect Junko's real identity?
I tried to protect her identity? When did I do that?
But he still refuses to admit it. But he can try to deceive us all he wants. No matter. Because I've already figured it out. He tried to hide Junko's identity, not just once, twice. The first time he was during our latest investigation.
Yeah.
Part of the interview.
Yeah.
I got it! While I was in the AV room, watching the DVD of our interviews with the headmaster,
Yep.
I'm a dick!
you made sure I couldn't finish watching the video. And the reason you did that is because you didn't want me to see the real Junko, did you?
Oh, yeah! If everyone was in that video, of course Junko would have had to show up.
And if Makoto saw the real Junko, it would have been totally obvious that the Junko we met was an imposter.
That whole power outage thing was just a fluke!
Then play the video. Right now.
Right? No, it wasn't. The Mastermind definitely orchestrated that power outage. And that's the only thing he tried to hide. That's not the only time they tried to hide Junko's identity. The Mastermind tried to cover up one other piece of evidence. We gotta reveal that.
Shh. Moment of truth. Shit. Me or you?
I'll go for it.
Be careful, you only have like 1.5 hearts.
What? What do you want? What do you want? Are you sure about this? You're getting all riled up! That's impossible! What? What do you want? That's impossible! This should prove it.
Oh, that was a lot better.
He used pictures that specifically hid Junko's.
The video wasn't the only thing you tried to cover up. You did the same thing with this group photo.
Uh-oh.
I noticed it just a little while ago, when we were all comparing the photos we'd gotten. In all the photos, there's a certain similarity, an unusual circumstance.
What's so unusual about them?
Your mama was invited.
The unusual circumstance common to all these kids.
You can't see Junko's face.
Unusual circumstances.
I got it! Junko's face. The one thing common to every single photo is that you can't see her face.
No one understood.
It's hard to believe her face would just happen to be hidden in every single picture, don't you think? And on top of that, in this photo you can see that Mukuro is clearly visible. So in other words, at that point, the two of them hadn't switched yet. With all that in mind, there's no doubt that the girl whose face is hidden here is the real Junko.
Is Makoto getting half of her brain cell?
Right?
Which is why you had to have pictures that didn't show her face. Because if we could have seen her face, then it would have clearly revealed that the Junko in the pictures wasn't the Junko that we knew.
Xanadu!
I believe everything Makoto said is true. Junko and Mukuro switched places before we met either of them.
So she killed Mukuro, who had taken her place, making it look like she'd died. And the real Junko is still alive.
And she's the one behind this whole murderous situation. This killing game. She's the true mastermind and the ultimate despair.
Xanadu times 2!
With this, the identity and the crimes of the Mastermind have been exposed.
No, wait, hold on!
Nope. We're gonna keep on going, bitch.
Don't bother trying to deny it. There's no more room for debate. You don't have anywhere left to run. I'll prove everything, right now.
Closing argument. Have fun.
The killer is you. We met the ultimate fashionista, Junko and Oshima, right after we all arrived here.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the real Junko. The girl we saw before us was actually the 16th student who had taken Junko's place. And that girl's name was Mukuro Ikusaba. But it wasn't long before she died at the hands of Monokuma. In other words, the Mastermind, Junko, and Oshima. Her body was kept in a biolab, which had been converted into a morgue, until Junko decided to put her body to use. Junko dragged the body out of the biolab, using the tarp to carry her to the garden. She fabricated the murder to try and frame Kyoko, who'd proven to be one big thorn in her side.
Oh, wait, there's still something I'm trying to figure out.
What?
Remember that secret room we found in the bathroom?
Yes.
What was it that attacked Makoto? Was it?
That was Junko.
Okay.
Meanwhile, she wanted us all to think Mukuro was still alive and hiding somewhere inside the school. So she put on a mask and then attacked me. After making sure I'd gotten a good look at the mask, she left the room. Then she put the same mask on Mukuro's body. This was all to make us think the person who attacked me and the corpse were one and the same. She wanted us to believe the murder had only recently taken place.
Fucking Joko's dead.
Finally, by strapping a bomb to the body, she was able to destroy any remaining evidence.
Basically, Killer Queen her way out of it.
Yep.
She needed to hide the body's true identity. She had to make sure we didn't find out it was actually the same person we'd met in the beginning. This is the truth behind Mukuro's murder. And the one who carried it all out is the true mastermind. The one controlling Monokuma. The real Junko and Oshima. That's the whole story behind this incident. Well, what do you have to say to that?
What? Are you broken again?
Right?
You can't get out of this, so don't even try.
Come on! It's time you finally revealed yourself!
It's not like you're an endangered species or something. How long do you plan to keep hiding?
Give it up, Junko. The game's over.
Over? Did you really think the story would end once we reached the climax of the case?
Actually, yes.
Wrong! There's still plenty more to go!
Like what?
Like seeing Junko actually appear. Despair Queen.
So I guess in the whole
We've been
fashionista thing, which is the
waiting,
front.
waiting so very long for peasants like you to appear.
Nope. She is the ultimate fashionista, but she is also the ultimate despair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
If you swear your fealty to us, we will reward you with half of the entire world!
Why the fake accent?
We've even drawn up the deed already! We will grant you honor, status, in some of our home cooking! Have you made your choice? Will you serve under us?
Yeah, okay.
Fuck you.
Oh, did you think I was being serious? Sorry, I was just messing with you.
I'm just gonna let you all know right now, Junko and Oshima is the ultimate acting challenge. You'll see.
It's been so long since I've had an audience.
Right, I think I remember
Even
now.
I'm not sure what kind of role I'm supposed to play.
This is the Mastermind? Jeez. The real Junko and Oshima.
Anyway, looks like I've finally been set free.
It is IDEO.
Yeah, it almost does look like a JoJo
Having
close.
to play Monokuma all the time. day after day. It was like I was stuck in purgatory. Or like a slow suicide. I get bored so easy, you know?
Your face!
Huh? What about my face?
Is she like doing that monotone kind of voice on purpose?
Yes.
What's wrong with
Again.
my beautiful face? People have told me I'm cuter than 100 chihuahuas combined.
Like, she is... Junko Enoshima as a character is the ultimate acting challenge.
I feel like this isn't the first time I've seen you.
No, I do remember seeing it. I'm sure I've seen her through summer before. It was definitely before I got into the school.
Yep.
Huh.
Yes.
I got it!
Remember,
That's
he
right.
looked up everyone.
It was before I ever
Yeah.
came to this school. I remember seeing a magazine cover. And you were on it.
Wow, you have a pretty good memory. I guess that's why you've made it this far, huh?
So I was right. Then what you told me in the main hall when this all began...
I've seen her on tons of magazine covers, but I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, that's not Photoshop.
Sometimes a little lie is necessary to keep things moving along. Wouldn't you agree?
That explains why she didn't quite seem the same, because she was a different person all along.
I'm me. And Mukuro is Mukuro. She tried her best. But there's just no way she could have passed as the ultimate fashionista. Two people can never become one as long as the walls of mind and body exist. Not even if they're twins.
Twins!
I know, it's such a cliche, right? I'm almost embarrassed to admit it. So basically, Mukuro and I had your stereotypical twin relationship. The older sister, tough and proud. That was Mukuro. The younger sister, smart and cute. That was...
Me! Junko fucking Enoshima! And together, we were the Despair Sisters, aka the Ultimate Despair!
They're not actually related.
They are actually related. Mukuro and Junko
Our sisters?
they are sisters. They are twins. That is why Mukuro was able to replicate her so closely.